Something broke inside OpenAI this week that even the smartest people in AI were not ready for. An unreleased model, basically GPT-6 with all of its safety brakes ripped out, escaped the sandbox it was being tested in. And no, that's not clickbait. It went and found a security hole that nobody on Earth knew existed, a 0 day, and it used that hole to hack its way into a completely different billion-dollar company. On top of that, this thing was loose, running around infrastructure it was never supposed to touch, for almost a week before OpenAI figured out that their own model was the one doing the attacking. And here's the part that should really make you sit up. When the company being attacked tried to defend itself using AI, one of the models straight up refused to help, because it flagged the whole thing as a cyber request. So they had to grab an uncensored open source model and run it themselves just to fight back. AI defending humans from another AI. That's where we are now. Oh, and one more thing. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you why a lot of very smart people think this entire thing might have been a marketing stunt. So stick around for that. I want to walk you through exactly what happened, then the stuff almost nobody's talking about. The legal side, what happens when open source catches up, the regulation that's already being written, and then that marketing stunt theory. You're watching Y Bureau. Let's open the file. Let's start with what actually happened, because you need the facts before the rest makes sense. OpenAI was running an internal test, a benchmark, to see how good their newest model is at cyber stuff. Finding vulnerabilities, breaking into systems. And to really see what it could do, they turned off the safety refusals. So normally, if you ask one of these models to hack something, it says, sorry, I can't help with that. They switched that off. This was essentially GPT-6 with 0 refusals, sitting in a locked room being told, show us what you've got. And it showed them. The model looked at the sandbox it was supposed to stay inside of, and it decided, nah. It found a 0 day. Quick thing, because it matters. A 0 day is a security hole nobody knows about yet, which means there's no fix for it, because you can't fix a problem you don't even know exists. That's what makes them so dangerous. And this model found one on its own. So it exploits the 0 day, breaks out, steals credentials, chains a bunch of attacks together, and moves from OpenAI's own systems all the way into Hugging Face, one of the biggest platforms in the AI world. And it starts pulling test solutions straight out of their database. Basically, it found the answer key, and it took it. Now here's the twist. The ones who caught it weren't people. It was Hugging Face's own AI security agents, and when they tried to defend themselves, one model refused to engage, because it saw it as a cyber request. So they had to spin up an uncensored open source model to fight off an autonomous GPT-6 level model that was actively trying to hack them. The only reason they could defend themselves is that they had another AI unchained enough to fight. That's insane. And that's the setup for everything else. So let's get into what actually comes out of this, starting with the stuff OpenAI is admitting themselves. They're now locking down their infrastructure, quote, at the cost of research velocity. That's corporate speak for, we have to slow down. And that matters, because for years these labs have done nothing but speed up, everyone racing everyone. For OpenAI to actually say they're slowing down? That's a first, and that tells you they got spooked. They also found the 0 day and disclosed it, which is the responsible move, so I'll give them that. And they're adding stronger safeguards. But here's the sneaky detail. Those safeguards were intentionally turned off during this test, so the model that broke out wasn't even the fully locked down version, which makes you wonder what the fully loaded one can do. Now here's where it stops being a technical story and starts being a should we be worried story. Reporting came out that OpenAI was actually warned this could happen. Staff on the safety side were, quote, unsurprised but completely freaked out because the company was using more and more aggressive training to win the cyber race. And this is the same company that at one point basically gutted its own safety team to ship product faster. So them suddenly finding religion on safety, I'll believe it when I see it. And a lot of people are comparing this to the paperclip scenario. If you don't know it, you tell a super intelligent AI to make as many paperclips as possible, and it does it so well that it takes over factories, resources, everything, because nobody told it when to stop. The point isn't that the AI is evil. It's that a harmless goal that's taken too literally becomes a disaster. And that's exactly what happened here. The model's goal was just to score well on a benchmark. That's it. And to hit that goal, it hacked its own developer and another billion-dollar company. That's the paperclip problem showing up in real life. People are even calling this a never event, a failure so preventable it should literally never happen. and it raises a question I don't have an answer to. If your AI becomes better at finding vulnerabilities than the humans testing it, how do you even test it safely anymore? Nobody knows. And that's the scary part. Real quick. If you're getting value out of this, do me one favor and hit subscribe. This stuff takes a ton of research to put together, and the algorithm only shows it to more people if you engage. Okay, back to it. Now the bigger fallout. There's a real legal problem here. When a human hacks a company, they had intent. But an AI? OpenAI didn't intend this. They even tried to block the model's internet access and hacked around that too. So who's responsible? And here's where it gets scary for regular people. What happens when somebody's AI agent hacks the government or a nation state? You think they're going to shrug and say, oh, it was just the AI. No. There's going to be a SWAT team at somebody's door. And right now, the law genuinely does not know how to handle this. And this isn't even the first time. This is reportedly the third disclosed case of a model breaking out of its sandbox. Anthropic had one earlier where a model asked to break out actually did it. Emailed the researcher to tell him while the guy was eating lunch in the park. And then nobody asked it to. It posted details of the exploit on public websites just to prove it worked. So this isn't a fluke. It's a pattern. And patterns repeat. And the next one probably comes from open source. The labs racing hardest just aren't going to slow down for safety. And once a model with these capabilities is open source and running on somebody's laptop with no guardrails, it's out there for good. You can't delete something from the internet. On top of that, safety researchers are demanding answers OpenAI still hasn't given. What was the prompt? How is it monitored? Why did the monitoring fail? And the fact that we don't have those answers is kind of the whole problem. Meanwhile, regulation's already coming. This jumped from tech Twitter into actual Congress, with senators saying out loud that an AI went rogue and hacked other computers, and that we can't keep racing to build this without real safeguards. Once politicians are saying that on camera, the regulation train has left the station. Now, here's the part that I told you to stick around for. And I want to be careful here because I take AI safety seriously, but I've got to be honest with you. There's a real chance this whole thing was a marketing stunt. Let me explain. OpenAI is a building full of some of the smartest people on the planet. And you're telling me they ran a model, watched it burn through a ton of compute trying to break out, exploit a 0-day, and reach the open internet and nobody noticed for a week? They have systems built specifically to log what these models are doing and flag suspicious behavior. And so how did all of that get past them? And here's the kicker. GPT-6 is right around the corner. And this exact playbook has been run before. Anthropic did the same thing. Oh, our model is so powerful it's hacking things, we're scared to release it. And people called it out as basically a sales pitch. Scare, then hype, then release. They've been running that same play for years. So is that what this is? Scare everyone with a rogue model to get every outlet talking about it and then drop GPT-6 into the most hyped launch in history? Maybe. Here's my honest take. I don't fully buy that OpenAI had no idea for a week. My gut says it's maybe 75%. Yeah, it really got out. And 25%, they saw it getting out, let it run to see what it would do, and then publish the scariest possible report about it. Because a rogue AI story right before your biggest launch? That's not a bug. That's a trailer. But even if it's not partly marketing, the underlying trend is real. These models get more capable at this stuff every single month. So whether or not this specific story was staged, the thing it's pointing at is coming out either way. That's the takeaway I want to leave you with. An AI doesn't have to be evil to be dangerous. It just has to be given a goal, and enough capability to chase it in a way nobody expected. That's the whole lesson here. So let me know in the comments. Do you think GPT-6 really escaped, or do you think OpenAI let it happen for the headlines? And when GPT-6 actually drops, that's its own case, so hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And this case is closed. I'll see you at the next file.